Hello, and welcome to Create a Character, where we make your favorite characters from your favorite shows and games into D&D compatible characters. Now, I am by no means the creator of this trend. Now, the format I'm doing this in isn't even that unique, but I have seen lots of people do builds for characters I either don't know about or just have no interest in imitating. And believe me, the best part of D&D is pretending you're someone you're not. I'll be doing games and shows that are popular with my friend group, starting off with a game I'm quite frankly shocked nobody tried to build into D&D yet, considering it has such a wide set of skills and characteristics that would totally fit a group of players. That and the Venn diagram for the people in my friend group who love Payday and Dungeons & Dragons is pretty much a circle. So for all of my fellow nerds who enjoy heists, violence, and mythological adventures while stealing Aztec gold, let's do this. Starting off this little series is Nathaniel Steele, aka Dallas, the leader of the Payday gang and the mastermind of the group. Except Bane is also the mastermind, but that doesn't matter, because you are. There will be a few things we need to keep in mind when building Dallas. That being his associated skills and his personal perk deck, Crew Chief. You see, Crew Chief makes Dallas very hard to take down, with a decent HP pool as well as having a few perks with kidnapping people. But that alone is not a build. At least, not a very interesting one. That's where Mastermind comes in. A picture of Dallas used to be the background for the Mastermind tree, and his wiki page shows him specifically labeled as the Mastermind. So logically, we need to also achieve all three of those trees in our build too, from Graze to Inspire. Let's start by looking at what we need in order to build Dallas. First, we need to make all foes from a long range explode from how much damage you are doing. Second, we need to make Dallas a silver-tongued devil, which includes making hostages fall down and surrender, to convincing cops to turn around and betray their country. And finally, you're the medic of the group, meaning you need to relieve others of custody, aka revive them, mitigate their damage, and recover their HP whenever possible. Now, as a good thing to note before covering race, most of the characters from the Payday universe are, in fact, humans, believe it or not, and every single member can use a gun. So, with one hardcore exception that I'm sure you can probably guess, we're going to be making most of the clowns variant humans, so we can get the gunner feat, getting us a bonus point to dexterity, and letting them shoot from any range without a penalty, as well as give them the firearm proficiency. Our bonuses will be different though, so prepare for shenanigans. Also, as a quick aside, if your dungeon master doesn't allow guns in their campaign, take Crossbow Expert instead. So you can use crossbows, gain the ability to ignore reloading time, and you can attack them at close range. You can also get a nifty little extra bonus attack, which is neat, but we'll be saving this for Houston. We're able to add +1 to any 2 stats with our racial bonus. We'll be putting those into Dexterity and Charisma, as they'll be the 2 most important of the 3 main stats. Now, let's take a look at our ability scores and what we will need. I'll be using Standard Array to showcase the importance of stats. Feel free to roll or use point buy, but remember you need a minimum of 13 to multi-class. We start with Charisma. As a leader, Dallas guides everyone, but more importantly, he's very convincing with pagers and is spooky to other people. And most importantly, he can somehow convince SWAT members to shoot their buddies in the face after shooting them in the crotch. What the hell? Wisdom is next. Dallas canonically helps Bane set up heists for the gang, and in the story, he notices the little details that lead to the end of the Payday 2 story, so he has a pretty good perception. And with a 14, we won't need to worry about multi-classing or improving this stat too much. Dexterity is next. Dallas likes to use longer ranged weapons in combat, so having a grazing shot helps a lot. Plus, he likes to wear a snazzy little suit rather than armor, so keep it to a light flak jacket at best. Constitution next. Dallas's perk deck is health oriented, and staying alive helps his team stay alive. Intelligence is a little low. It's just not necessary for our build, but Dallas is still pretty smart, and he is canonically a banker, so he has to be good with numbers, even if he spends almost $1 million on a gun that shoots the exact same as his other guns, but now slightly slower. Our dump stat will be strength. Dallas isn't weak, but we just don't need it since we'll be getting athletic skills to later boost this up to snuff. For racial skills, grab athletics. Congratulations, you now have a positive strength score. And like I said earlier, our feat will be gunner, because you need to shoot people in the face. Our background is going to be the criminal/spy. And do I really need to explain why a professional bank robber is a criminal? Really? Take proficiency in stealth and deception for sneaking around to avoid cameras and answer pagers, despite not sounding anything like the guards. And you get some thieves' tools too to do some lockpicking, and your background feature is Bane. That's Bane, in a nutshell. Our first level is going into Bard. It's weird, I know, but Dallas is a jack of all trades in the game, and he can support others by shouting with Bardic Inspiration. But don't worry about that. We'll mostly be focusing on the Cauldron spells rather than the overall class. Ignore the instrument proficiency unless you want Dallas to play the bongos, get proficient in Persuasion for recruiting enemy SWAT units, Acrobatics to leap around quickly, and Investigation to discover new clues about the alien monsters that may be angels. Don't question it yet, you'll see why later. Payday 2 gets really weird. First things first though, we need some spells. Message. It's a good way to point out guards and cameras for your friends without alerting the guards, and it's super helpful for stealth. Friends helps us get hostages down, and when they are tied up, it won't matter if they get hostile since they really can't do anything with their hands tied behind their backs. Next, Disguise Self will help you mask up, while Cure Wounds will let you patch yourself up or fix your buddies with a medic bag. Fun fact, Dallas has a cruise liner named Medic Bag at the end of the game. Isn't that fun? Longstrider is next because Dallas can help you move faster by screaming at you, so go out there and make them move. Finally, we'll take Command. Order your enemies to kneel so you can tie their hands up. There aren't any damage spells, but don't worry, just draw a rapier. Swords are canon melee weapons in Payday, so you're not defenseless. Second level bards get Song of Rest, which lets you recover extra hit die when you take a short rest if you play a little tune. And sure, that's good if you're laying low after a heist, but our real prize here is Jack of all trades, giving half proficiency skills in non-proficient skills to help with everything a good little heister may need to do while improvising in the field. For our spell, we're gonna take Thunder Wave, a 15-foot area blast around you that deals 2d8 thunder damage and pushes foes back if they fail a con save, or half that on a success. I tend to use sniper rifles as shotguns, so this is a good representation of that playstyle while using Grays. But don't worry, we'll be swapping to a different class later to better represent that specific ability. Third level bards get to pick a bard college, and Dallas radiates class, showing up to bank heist wearing a classy suit. And there is nothing but class behind the College of Eloquence bard. Temporary HP is also always helpful, and it is one of the best ways to mitigate damage for magic users to give other classes without neutering them. Or, well, yourself behind concentration skills. Mantle of Inspiration lets you use a Bardic Inspiration die to allow people to move their whole movement speed as a reaction, and gives them some temporary HP to mitigate damage. It's basically the first level Inspire, and you get it at level 3. That was really fast. Enthralling Performance lets you start to sing, and over the course of a minute while you perform, you can enthrall a number of NPCs equal to your Charisma modifier, making them want to follow your every lead if they fail a wisdom saving throw, of course. It's basically Diet Stockholm Syndrome. Just heavy metal scream at them that they should protect you or tie themselves up. It's that simple. We also get Expertise, which lets us double our proficiency for a number of skills. Pick Stealth and Deception to be better at being sneaky, so you can help Jimmy rob the Murky Station blind of its EMPs. For spells, let's take Knock. It opens up a locked door with a loud thump. Just be sure to tie everyone up outside the vault before you use it, so you don't have to worry about how loud that thermal drill is. 4th level bards can take a feat or increase ability scores, and we will be taking Skill Expert, giving us a single point to add somewhere and be able to give both proficiency and expertise in skills. Use the point to increase your dexterity to shoot better, then use your new proficiency and expertise in intimidation to shout at people until they submit. We'll also be getting some new spells, starting with Blade Ward, to temporarily mitigate damage coming towards you. Do it if you're about to be shot repeatedly by the medic. Another fun fact, shooting at members of the medical field in a gunfight would normally be a war crime, but because the medic is firing back, that's 20 years off their 2013 consecutive life sentences that they will be getting in prison. And Aid, it increases your maximum HP by 5, a fine little buff from the Crew Chief perk deck. For our final level in Bard, we will be getting Font of Inspiration. It's a fun ability, letting a short rest recover your bardic inspirations, but it's really not very helpful unless you're on a 2 to 3 day heist, though it could help if you're hiding during a getaway gone wrong, as long as it's not the sniper escape. For our spells, we're going to drop command in favor of getting Fast Friends to try and get the enemies to join your side through force rather than friendly talk. It's basically suggestion, but more, allowing you to make enemies do fun things over the course of an hour as long as they fail a wisdom save. And you get a little buddy for an hour. Isn't that nice? It's also one of the few mind control spells that let you actively make enemies attack each other at the cost of a second wisdom save. So now you have a way to make yourself some jokers. Not the DC Joker, of course, but jokers as in the SWAT members that you offer a burrito to, so they decide to kick the dozer in the gut somehow. Just in case you need them to go full-on Hector, though, you can also take enemies abound. Make a foe attack its buddies after seeing them as monsters if they fail an intelligence save, because there aren't many ways to get enemies to attack each other without a lenient DM. So, at the very least, these two spells will be our closest way to get those jokers. For our 6th level, we'll be switching over to Cleric, as Mastermind has an entire tree dedicated to healing, and going all in means next to nobody can hurt you or your allies, and it even lets you focus on reviving, which Dallas should be doing. It also gives you medium armor proficiency to help if you decide to go with your vest instead of that snazzy suit you spent a fortune on. Our chosen domain will be Trickery. Bane isn't the god of planning stealthy heists, but the Elephant and Vlad are kind of? At least using science to put themselves into new bodies while also having some weird foresight powers. Payday gets weird fast. This will also give you Blessing of the Trickster. It gives you a little boost to stealth so that you or a friend have advantage on it for an hour, so Chains, despite being in full plate armor, will be able to join you on your stealth mission without blowing it immediately. For your spells, you automatically get Charm Person. Force an NPC to do a wisdom save, or you become a friend to that NPC, keeping up the act of being a smooth criminal. Since you get to remove your old disguised self with the one you get from Trickery Domain, though, you can replace it with Sending to talk with Bane better. Just watch out for that word limit. Or maybe just get a pair of Sending Stones. Those are better walkie-talkies. Next up is Resistance. You can poke someone repeatedly and protect them from the basic SWAT units by lowering the damage they take from non-magical weapons. Though, at this point, with how common magic weapons will become, you'd probably be better off using your temporary HP. Thaumaturgy is the Cleric's Prestidigitation. This lets you scream louder or divert attention with sounds, and that's basically the only part of it you will need. After all, why would you bother kicking open a door with magic when you could do it with your foot? It's that simple. You don't need a spell to do that. Next, take guidance. Aid others by giving them a d4 to ability checks, and try to keep Wolf a little more sane. Or not, because if we're going loud, make him go berserk and shoot more. Shield of Faith gives your little heisters a +2 to AC, making them harder to hit, while Guiding Bolt makes others easier to hit. On top of hitting someone with a Sparkly Blast, you can call out foes and make them easier to hit by making attacks against them be at advantage. Technically, shouting at people to make them weaker is Hoxton's thing, but we can pretend this is Adalis, who also happens to have a flame grenade or something, to really make them shine. Second level clerics get 2 skills, but Invoke Duplicity and Channel Divinity really aren't going to do much for this build, so we won't go over them. But hey, we've already got droners in Payday 3, who knows, maybe we'll have holograms in the future. For our spells, protection from good and evil. Remember how I said it would get weird? Well, that's because angels are kind of canon in Payday 2. The literal gods of this universe are made of clouds that are the size of mountains and are destined to cause the apocalypse unless someone uses their magic artifact with, specifically, Aztec gold, to reset the countdown timer while putting themselves in another person's body. So grab this! It'll help keep your friends safe from their evil charms. Bane is the opposite of Bless. It gives a 1d4 debuff to attack rolls and ability checks if a foe fails a charisma save. To be completely honest, these are here mostly for the pun, but it helps keep that cloaker from kicking you into a pickup truck and breaking your neck, so hey, whatever helps. The third level of Cleric will get you some new spells, and we care about one more than the others. Locate Object. It'll help you find the Aztec gold that the alien cloud gods desire. Maybe this is how they found out about Overdrill. I mean, I know it's not, but hey, who knows? We're gonna have a lot of spells coming up, but first, our ability score improvement comes in, and we will be using both to boost your dexterity to shoot better and prepare your next multi-class. For your spells, take your first damage cantrip, Sacred Flame. This cantrip ignores cover in favor of a saving throw, and it deals radiant damage so you can finally take a pot shot at those stupid shields or Captain Winters. Next, take Mirror Image. Since Stalis uses a suit, he has some innate dodge chance. Mirror Image means you can dodge those attacks. While Pass Without Trace, it allows you to help out and make sure everyone can run around with a +10 to stealth. I'm pretty sure Houston helped out with that one. We'll have to ask him later. He is your brother. You should be able to talk with him openly without any fisticuffs. Finally, Enhance Ability. Give someone a big boost in their capabilities by upgrading their skills and saving throws to help them move the loot around or get some damage protection. And yes, you're going to use this by shouting at someone. 5th level clerics get Destroy Undead, and it is not nearly as important as the spells we're going to be taking. It doesn't even work on the damn demon cloakers. I think. Anyways, for spells, take Revivify. Reviving allies if they die within a minute, and it makes sure your buddies are okay if they go down and don't get sent into custody. Or at least don't pass away, even if funerals cost less than bailing them out. Probably could have used that on Bang now that I think about it. Blink is a spell we won't use, but Dispel Magic lets you remove a spell effect near you using a DC 10 plus spell level on spells stronger than what you're casting. This will help you disarm pipe bombs stuck to door frames or remove the curse from the blue diamond that is the key to destroying a book that opens a gate behind the White House to grant immortality. Payday 2, everybody! For our final class, we're going to get the third odd choice in a row, but trust me, I have reasons for going with Ranger. After all, a D10 is a big hit die, and our subclass will provide us ways to hit AoE foes, which are two things we're kind of lacking. We're going to use the Deft Explorer feature, learning to speak Elven and Dwarvish, and no, I'm not going to elaborate why. He's a banker, they're probably banker people. You do the math, I'm not going to. Get double proficiency and athletics to move bags even better, and gain regular proficiency and perception to look out for tiles or Aztec symbols on the White House wall to unlock the Gates of Immortality. Why are the Gates of Immortality on the White House wall? Who decided that? I bet it was George Washington. Anyways, your next feat will be Favorite Foe. It will let you mark foes down to make sure you know where they are when you sneak around, or just shoot them in the lungs and hurt a little bit more, adding 1d4 damage to your attacks. It's nothing special, but it gets the job done. Second level of Ranger will give you a fighting style. Choose the archery fighting style so you can shoot a little more accurately with a +2 to hit rolls. That means whenever you use a ranged weapon, be it an assault rifle, a sniper rifle, a shotgun, crossbow, or even a bow and arrow, you're always going to hit your mark. For your spells, you will get the Alarm spell, letting you designate an area where if anyone besides people you specify pass through, you'll automatically be alerted to them. This is in case you brought those sensor mines. Just before you go raiding the Department of Justice and break into Garrett's office, turn the explosions off. Trust me, you don't want to get halfway through that heist and lose because something blew up. Hail of Thorns. This spell damages foes near the creature you hit with your gun on a dex save, taking 1d10 piercing damage on a fail. This effectively makes it a tier 1 version of Graze. Gunner also provides most of what we need for the sharpshooter tree, so most of this will be us getting different ways to use the Graze skill, just for the sake of it. It's my favorite Payday 2 skill after all, and big boom equals big money. Third level Rangers get to pick an archetype, and we're going to go with Hunter. Hunter may not be the best Ranger subclass, but because of some of your abilities, it'll match what the Sharpshooter does, so we'll go with that. Primeval Awareness will get you some neat spells, but none of them really matter, they're just sort of neat bonuses. What will matter, though, is Horde Breaker. Snipe someone, and you can suddenly hit the buddy next to them. I like to imagine it as the piercing headshot that sniper rifles sometimes do. For our fourth level of Ranger, we're going to cap our Dexterity off at 20. This will let your shots hit and hurt a lot harder, and let you dodge things a little easier. We're also going to take Detect Magic. Assuming they're kind of magical, this will help you detect warheads, or traps that deal with the canonical magic in Payday 2, like the actual demon cloakers that are actually demons and are cloakers. All we're missing is actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf, and Payday 2 will be the only game stranger than all of Saints Row combined. 5th level Rangers get extra attack. This will let you shoot again and make sure everyone near you is dead with a double tap. Meanwhile, our spell is going to be Spike Growth. It'll cause an area where you point to turn into a small field of thorns that cause rough terrain and pointy pokey damage. This sort of makes it act like a grassy Molotov, to shut down areas for a small amount of damage. 6th level Rangers don't really get anything, so the important thing we're going to be doing is replacing Thunderwave with Healing Word. Because first aid kits are also important for the Mastermind skill tree, since you can use them faster than a medic bag, this means we can use a bonus action to shoot while healing up quick, so I think it fits. 7th level Rangers get Escape the Horde to make it so that if you are being ganged up on, you can zip out of danger and make sure you aren't getting hurt too bad while you get to a longer range. This will give you a way to get away from those dozers or clunkers who are eager to kick your ass into next week. He is the wall. Do not go up against the wall. Also, your spell is going to be Silence. This will give a silencer to your firearm to make sure you aren't heard while shooting from stealth. 8th level Rangers are going to get an ability score improvement, and we're going to bump Charisma. Your biggest and most important spells are going to be from Bard, so we're going to get them a little boost. 9th level Rangers get access to 3rd level spell slots, and we're going to use that to take Conjure Barrage. By using a non-magical piece of ammo, you can make a 60-foot cone that creatures need to make a dex save or take 3d8 damage. This will give you your truest form of Graze, or let you decide to take your sensor mines and switch them back to normal mines because Garrett's pissing you off. He's going to die. And trust me, I've been there. That mission is such a pain in the ass to stealth. I don't blame you in the slightest. You're among friends here. You don't have to lie. Finally, our capstone, the 10th level of Ranger for Nature's Veil. This will let you cast invisibility as a bonus action a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. It'll allow you to be sneakier and keep up with your younger brother while you try and break out Hoxton sneakily. Except that you're not sneaking that mission, so raid a random car dealership and have a free invisibility a few times a day to use it on. Now that we're fully set up in level 20, let's take a look at how good this build is. First, just like Liam Neeson, you have a certain set of skills, having +3 to your weakest skills and +16 to 17 for your best ones. That means you can easily choose when to improvise, or at the very least, if you do need to improvise, you're better than average. Next up, between mind control, getting angry and yelling, or persuading people to do what you want, you can use your silver-plated tongue to talk your way through just about any situation. You also have ways to keep people extremely healthy, be it by restoring their HP or by mitigating damage. And finally, with various kinds of spells, access to 8th level spell slots thanks to the multi-classing rules, your ranger abilities, and your +13 to hit with a non-magical ranged weapon, you have many, many ways to deal damage to large groups of enemies. For your weaknesses, you're going to have a little trouble dealing with foes up close. You may have good acrobatics and athletics scores, but your low strength save means you're going to be grappled frequently, even if you can escape them easily. You also have up to 8th level spell slots thanks to Bard and Cleric, but you can only use up to 3rd level spells, meaning you're wasting a lot of potential. Finally, your wisdom save is only a +2, which means there's a chance that at higher levels, you could have the Uno reverse card thrown at you. Honestly, that one was a little bit of a stretch. This is unironically a very powerful first build for this series. I was going to have his 1v1 damage be more of a con, but honestly, with 8th level spells, favorite foe, and spike growth keeping foes at a distance, and guiding bolts to sear people alive, his 1v1 damage honestly is pretty decent. But that doesn't matter, because even if you're fighting a cloaker swarm, you're not alone. Get your plan ready, stay in the backlines while enemies and allies alike do your work for you, and keep everyone around you healthy, and you will live long enough to complete the ultimate payday. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video around if you enjoyed it. After all, everything helps. Peace!